sent you several emails, and other people in the community have sent you several emails asking you cordially to come out to a free and open forum on vaccines, where concerned individuals, particularly parents in the community, can find out if vaccines, particularly this H1N1 vaccine, is safe. We must not mess around with our children's health. Our children are our future. We must insist that our public officials that are paid generously to ensure the safety of the people in Grey-Bruce-Owen Sound come out in a free and open and well-advertised open forum on the safety of vaccine, and in particular the H1N1 vaccine. Tamiflu is another agent that has been stored by the Canadian government and may be used this fall. Tamiflu has a bad track record, and it was produced by a corporation by the name of Merck, another leftover from Nazi Germany. Do we allow these nefarious corporations to ensure the safety of Canadians? I, for one, and many other people in the community, do not feel comfortable with these corporations. We do not feel comfortable with the United Nations World Health Organization and their declaration of pandemic level 6 on a worldwide basis. 194 countries, including Canada, the Canada that I love and many people love and are proud to live in, could lose their entire sovereignty at the flick of a pen through some bureaucrat, some unaccountable bureaucratic organization, roundtable, somewhere in some foreign place could declare that Canada no longer has its own sovereignty. Our police, our military would become subservient to the United Nations. In that case, any rights, freedoms, liberties, or anything you ever thought you had as Canadian will be lost immediately. Martial law will reign free. We want public health officials to come to an open forum, a 100% open forum where all the people who have direct concerns can question Hazel Lynn in front of the public about their concerns. We would like direct answers to our questions. Not a politician's answer, but an answer. Human being's answer. We will have other experts there that the public can also address their questions to. Experts that are not so supportive of vaccines. Experts that know that the H1N1 flu was created in a laboratory. Why did this thing show up in April of this year? You can look up on the U.S. Patent Office website that the H1N1 flu vaccine received a patent to Baxter Pharmaceutical Corporation in August 2008. The darn disease showed up here in April of 2009. No one ever heard of it before that, except for Baxter and the U.S. Patent Office. Pretty mysterious, I would say. The H1N1 flu is a combination of an avian bird flu, a swine flu, in other words, for pigs, and very mysteriously, the Spanish flu, which apparently hasn't been seen since about 1918. We had a flu that killed somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 million people. Again, it is impossible for those three viruses to combine to create a new virus, other than through genetic modification. Genetic modification is only possible in laboratories, as far as I know. I don't see it happening in forests. I don't see it naturally happening in the oceans. It happens in large corporate offices and the laboratories in behind them. Now we've been told by a story that appeared in the Owen Sound Times recently that the Canadian public can be rest assured that the H1N1 vaccine will be safe and will be safety tested at a $3.8 million budget, which is rather low actually, from what I understand. But anyway, a $3.8 million budget has been allocated to ensure the safety of the H1N1 vaccine for Canadians. The gentleman in charge of the program, who was appointed in charge of the program by a rather questionable Minister of Health for Canada, Linda Aguiluca, excuse me if I'm not pronouncing her last name right. The gentleman in charge of that research program is a gentleman by the name of Scott Halperin. Scott Halperin heads up the Canadian Centre for Vaccinology in Halifax, Nova Scotia. That Centre for Vaccinology in Halifax, Nova Scotia, approximately a year ago from today, received a multi-million-dollar grant from Sanofi Aventis. Sanofi Aventis is a very large pharmaceutical company based out of France. How is it that we as Canadians can feel comfortable about a non-biased, effective and honest research program to ensure the safety of H1N1 vaccines that will be directed by a man who receives his funding from the pharmaceutical vaccine industry? It is completely impossible for me personally to believe that that would be an unbiased research program. More and more and more people are saying that they will not accept any vaccines, particularly the H1N1 vaccine. The Canadian government has already ordered 50.4 million doses for. And then after placing the order, has said that they will initiate a $3.8 million research program that is supervised and directed by a gentleman who receives his funding from a pharmaceutical corporation that manufactures vaccines. Sanofi Aventis, who, by the way, has just been contracted by the French government to produce all the vaccine that France apparently needs for this H1N1 orchestrated pandemic. France, by the way, has already made official black and white plans. This is available in the mainstream media if you look a little deeper than the Canadian mainstream media. France has already made plans to fully militarize France and to force its people to take vaccines. The state of Massachusetts is in the process of passing laws that would fine people $1,000 a day if they do not take vaccines.
You work here,
yes,
right? And would you consider saying no to the vaccination?
I don't know about that.
Let me rephrase that. If a ruling came down, okay,
Yeah.
because it is pandemic 6 now, and it is in the hands of the UN now,
Yeah.
okay. In other words, we're giving up our sovereign health rights to a non-elected body overseas to make decisions for our health here in Canada concerning the swine flu, right? If they made the swine flu vaccination compulsory or mandatory, how would you feel about that as just a citizen of the country, not a healthcare worker? Would you find that to be a little, against what we think our rights are as Canadians? Yeah, and we're trying to get Hazel Lynn, right?
Yeah.
To come to a public forum and discuss some of these concerns that more and more people are getting as they become more and more aware of what may take place here.
Right.
And we're having a really difficult time
I'm sure
to
you
get
are.
to this sweetheart, right?
I'm sure.